Hello everyone, Kaiza here, back with more Path to Nowhere. Today we're gonna talk about Hypatia, a genius researcher from Outland raised from the noble Campbell family. So Chief, prepare yourself because we are going to get familiar with Hela's new bestie. Hypatia is an strong radical tendency sinner who deals magic damage. At the start of battle, she summons Gilded Machina on grids accessible to allies around her. Gilded Machina is this golden frame with pinwheel-like object on the field that will help Hypatia to damage the enemy. Since it will only summon on grid accessible to allies around Hypatia, you need to be careful on where you put Hypatia at the start of battle, because if there is no accessible grid, then Gilded Machina won't be summoned, causing Hypatia to lose half if not more of her abilities. Oh, by the way, after it's summoned, you still can move it freely, so yeah, just letting you know. Gilded Machina is counted as Aurum Secretum Tech type summon creature. That is right, Chief, this means the developer possibly preparing a new team archetype for us. Let's hope it's going to be good. Gilded Machina inherits 80% of Hypatia maximum HP, 120% of her attack, and 100% of her defense and magic resistance. Clearly a summoned creature with the purpose of dealing damage. It also can block one enemy, however I recommend to keep this summoned creature away from enemy since inheriting 80% of Hypatia maximum HP making it very squishy. And if it die, there is no way to resummon it, causing Hypatia to lose half if not more of her abilities. Gosh, I'm gonna say that a lot, am I? Gilded Machina will deal the same normal attack and damage coefficient as Hypatia normal attack. Hypatia Mania Intensify extend Hypatia and Gilded Machina's normal attack range by 2 columns. Hypatia normal attack is called Alchemic Smell. It's a single target attack dealing damage equal to 70 to 140% of Hypatia or Gilded Machina attack within skill range. The original range is 3x4, however if you have unlocked the Mania Intensify, it will be 3x6, making it suitable for Hypatia and Gilded Machina to be put in the back row while still able to reach far enemies. Her ultimate is called Prayer Dawn. Now, this is actually a new concept. It's an AoE attack dealing damage equal to 700 to 1400% of the caster attack to each grid within skill range. Yes, each grid. This means if the enemies occupies multiple grid and you can hit them all, it will receive triple the damage, making it a potential of 4200% damage. Don't believe me? Well, take a look at this. See how it deals 3 times 15k damage to Teddy. However, if there is multiple enemies on the same grid, the damage will be distributed among all enemies within the grid. For example, this time I'm going to hit the jellyfish. As you can see, since the most bottom grid is shared between Teddy and the jellyfish, instead of dealing 3 times 15k damage to Teddy, you only deal 2 times 15k damage and a 7k damage to Teddy. This means if you want to min and max the ultimate, don't randomly throw your ultimate and make sure each grid always hits something. This ultimate is counted as normal attack, and if Gilded Machina is on the field and able to cast skill, it will cast the ultimate instead of Hypatia. Does it matter who casts it? Well, it does matter, since remember, Gilded Machina inherited 120% of Hypatia attack, meaning it will deal more damage than Hypatia. The description is also hinted that Gilded Machina will also be subjected to silence or control effect, causing it unable to use skill. So, plan carefully. Her passive one is called LM Transmute. After using ultimate, allied summoned creature normal attack damage is increased by 6 to 12% for 15 seconds. If the ultimate is casted by Gilded Machina, which it should be, they will receive additional normal attack damage plus 4 to 8%. Passive 2 is called Auric Resonance. When Gilded Machina casts a skill, its attack will increase by 2.5 to 5%. This effect can be stacked 5 times. I know in the description it says scale and in the UI normal attack is part of scale, but I believe this effect only activates after using ultimate. If you shackle one Hypatia, the number of stack is increased to 8, and now Hypatia will also receive this passive buff. Her exclusive Crimebrand is called Maverick. When Hypatia and Gilded Machina deal damage to both enemies, their damage is increased by 10, 20 or 30%. For each grid the boss enemies occupies, this effect coefficient additionally increased by 0.4, 0.8 or 1.2% up to a maximum of 10, 20 or 30%. This means in order for you to get the maximum value of this exclusive, you need a boss that occupies 25 grids. The question is, does such boss exist? Yes, they do. The first that I could think of is the boss of Tide of Ashes, which exactly occupies 25 grids. Since outside of bosses this exclusive is practically useless, I recommend to keep this exclusive Crimebrand at 0 or 1 at maximum. Now, with that exclusive, I somehow convinced that Hypatia base stage is a stage where there is only one big boss enemy. And I honestly see this as an issue. In normal stages with many enemies and random team composition, what Hypatia has to offer is basically 2 units that deal normal attack. The ultimate is unique, but it has lackluster wave clearing capabilities since the damage need to be shared between the same enemy on the same grid or requires stage with very specific layout and spawn point. Gilded Machina is very squishy and easy to die, that your safe bet is to put it on the back row. Losing it means losing more than half of her battle power. And most importantly, Hypatia is just not compatible with Catalyst Sinner. Let me explain. In gaming terminology, there is what is called snapshotting. It's the state in which attributes are fixed on long-lasting ability, effect, entity, or summon based on the character attributes during the ability activation. Do you get it? Yeah, I also don't get it. So let me explain by example. Let's say we have Levin with 500 attack, and then she summons Strange Entity in which inherited 100% of Levin's attack. You can call this the Strange Entity is snapshotting Levin when she has 500 attack. So, when you add Cabernet, who gives Levin a 30% attack boost, the attack of Strange Entity doesn't change, because it snapshot Levin when she has 500 attack. On the second scenario, let's say 500 attack Levin is buffed by Cabernet first, and then she summoned the Strange Entity. Now, the Strange Entity is snapshotting Levin after the buff and has 650 attack. So, when the duration of the buff is over and Levin attack is back to normal, the Strange Entity will still has the 650 attack as long as it remain on the field. Do you understand it better now? Good. So why does this an issue with Hypatia? Well, it's because the Gilded Machina is summoned at the start of battle, meaning it will snapshot Hypatia attack at the start of the battle. So it doesn't matter if you buff Hypatia attack during the fight, Gilded Machina can't take advantage of it. Not only that, even if you buff Hypatia attack and it somehow surpass Gilded Machina attack, the ultimate still prioritize Gilded Machina to cast the ultimate instead of her. Which makes me question, where the developers going with this? Oi! The hell are you smoking? Wait, don't run! Okay, with that explanation, Sinner who synergizes with Hypatia is become more limited. First is Summoner, since Hypatia passive 1 grant buff to summon creature. 2. Anyone that can buff summon creature is good for Hypatia, since Gilded Machina deal more damage. Third, I originally want to recommend any Sinner that can buff normal attack like Lady Pearl, since her ultimate is considered normal attack. But then due to snapshotting, it probably only affects Hypatia while the ultimate is cast by Gilded Machina. So I think it won't work. Last but not least is anyone that part of Aurum Secretum tech archetype. That makes the first one is Levin. She is a summoner and probably the best one at the moment, and she will also receive Ascension in about 3 months from now. Second is Eve. Her normal attack is basically heal all summoned creature on the field. Her passive 2 increase the attack and attack speed of all summoned creature by 3% for each summoned creature on the field to a maximum of 8 stack, which is a potential attack increase of 24% for Gilded Machina. Her exclusive Crimebrand can enhance the effect of passive 2 by 50% for 10 seconds. Bringing Levin and Eve open up the possibility to bring Enfer, and now you have access to Fear Team, or people prefer to call it Triple E, which is the abbreviation of those 3 names. Just to clarify, Enfer doesn't have any synergy with Hypatia at all. And then we have Lysandra, which was released together with Hypatia and part of the Aurum Secretum tech archetype. Her ultimate can heal all Aurum Secretum tech within range and deal 2 core damage in which Hypatia lacking. Her passive 1 allows herself and Aurum Secretum tech to recover a small HP every time they hit enemies with normal attack. And her passive 2 increase the attack speed of all Aurum Secretum tech by 30%. Her exclusive Crimebrand will increase the efficiency of her ultimate, passive 1, and passive 2 by 25% for each Aurum Secretum tech summon, up to a maximum of 100%. basically doubling the effect of her ultimate, passive 1 and passive 2. And also a further hint there will be more Aurum Secretum tag Sinner in the future. Skill priority is a bit tricky here, but I decided I will go with normal attack. The reason being is because it basically buff both Hypatia and Gilded Machina, and you're gonna use it the whole fight. The second is passive 2, since it will buff Gilded Machina normal attack. Third is passive 1, assuming you are running a summoner team. And last but least is the ultimate. The ultimate has an impressive of 4200% potential damage as I show you, but with the condition that you are able to fit all 3 grid into the enemies, which is kinda hard. Not to mention its energy cost is expensive, which is 30. Since Gilded Machina is actually the main damage dealer, so Crimebrand that can buff summon creature is good. Your first option is Buried with Hint plus Creation, which increase the damage of summoned creature by 30 and 25% respectively. Second option is Homecoming, increasing the attack, HP, defense and magic resistance of all summoned creature by 6%. This is good if you bring other summoners on the team like Levin and Eve. Year 1 also a possible option and potentially better than Homecoming if Hypatia is the only summoner on the team. It's a 15% attack increase on Hypatia at the start of battle, which Gilded Machina will snapshot at the cost of Hypatia movement. Other notable Crimebrand is Nightmare Revelation, but this is not supposed to be equipped on Hypatia, but on the other allied Sinner to support her. It increases the attack of all Sinner at the start of battle, which is good for Gilded Machina snapshotting. For a beginner, your best option is Tuning for energy and Providence for attack plus 6%. You can always replace Tuning with random S-rank Crimebrand which give attack plus 6% attribute. I wouldn't recommend Hypatia in her current state until we get further support, so Shackle 0 is fine for collection. You have no idea how hard for me to say that because I really like her in the story. Notable Shackle is Shackle 1, which makes passive 2 can be stacked 8 times and the attack increase will also be applied to Hypatia. The other is Shackle 3, in which convinced me even further that Hypatia is built for one big boss type content. When Hypatia and Gilded Machina hit the same enemy with their normal attack, that instant of damage will receive damage plus 70%. Now, I feel this is pretty huge increase, however in a content where there are many enemies, managing Hypatia and Gilded Machina to attack the same enemy all the time is gonna be a hassle. It surprisingly has an indicator though. When Hypatia deals normal attack, it will apply this vertical brown fragment to the enemies while Gilded Machina applies the horizontal one. When its shape is completed, it's basically the indication that you will do 70% extra damage. As you can see, Gilded Machina deal a whole lot more damage when the shape is completed. The remaining Shackle are attack plus 6% and ultimate cost reduced by 5 energy, something extra that's really nice to have basically. With that, we are at the end of the video. I hope it will help you to decide whether to pull or not. If so, let me know in the comment section if you are lucky or if you are saving it for future Sinner. I will see you on the next Sinner Complete Guide series. Until then, please take care and bye bye. Hey, do you like the video? Then please consider like, comment and subscribe. I also stream Path to Nowhere and other gacha game like Reverse 1999 and Heaven's Burn Red. So if you want to enjoy gacha game with good story, so why not join me? I will see you there. Bye bye.